3 years of my life. 3 years of late nights, missed birthdays and sacrificed weekends. All so my boss could stand in a boardroom and claim my work as his own. But here's what Marcus Bennett didn't know. I record everything. It started on a Tuesday in March. The kind of grey, drizzling morning that makes you want to stay in bed forever. I was 24 years old, fresh out of Columbia's advertising programme, with $78,000 in student loans and a portfolio full of ambitious ideas. I'd applied to 17 agencies. Meridian Creative was the only one that called back. Marcus Bennett was already a creative director then. 39 years old, sharp suits, sharper smile. He interviewed me personally, leaning back in his Eames chair, spinning a Mont Blanc pen between his fingers. "Claire," he said, "I see something in you. Raw talent, the kind that needs moulding." I practically glowed. I should have run. At first, I thought I was learning from the best. Marcus would take my concepts, refine them, and present them to clients. The wins were always his. The losses were always mine. I told myself that's just how the industry works. Apprenticeship, paying dues. I was so desperate to believe I was being mentored that I didn't realise I was being harvested. Then came the email on August 14th. Subject line, urgent, new business opportunity. Vanguard Industries, Fortune 200, 42,000 employees across 14 countries. They needed a complete brand repositioning. The initial RFP mentioned a budget of $50 million over 3 years, the biggest pitch in Meridian's 20-year history, and Marcus was putting me on it solo. For 6 months, I lived and breathed that pitch. I interviewed 43 Vanguard customers until my voice went hoarse. I studied their competitors' annual reports until I could recite their profit margins from memory. I missed my sister's engagement party. I broke up with my boyfriend because I kept cancelling dinner plans. Thanksgiving, I ate a cold sandwich in the office while reviewing focus group transcripts. And I created something brilliant. The presentation was scheduled for January 15th. The night before, I ran through my deck one final time in the empty conference room. 57 slides, every insight original, every word mine. The campaign concept, unstoppable together, brought tears to my eyes when I rehearsed the closing. I went home at midnight, fell asleep with my clothes on, and dreamed of finally breaking through. The next morning, Marcus called me into his office at 8:47 a.m. I remember the exact time because I checked my phone, wondering why he wanted to see me before our 10 a.m. prep session. He was smiling. That should have been my first warning. "Claire," he said, "I've decided to present the Vanguard pitch myself. It's too important for a junior team member. You understand, of course." I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. 6 months of my life. The missed holidays, the ended relationship, the sleepless nights. And he was taking it with a smile. "Don't worry," he added, reaching for his espresso. "If we win, I'll make sure you get a mention in the press release. Maybe even let you stand in the photo." A mention. In the press release. I felt my hands ball into fists under the desk. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my resignation letter in his smug face. But I had rent due in 12 days, student loans breathing down my neck, and a career I was terrified to lose. So I nodded. I thanked him for the opportunity. I even managed a smile. And I walked out of his office with my presentation in his hands, feeling like I'd just been mugged in broad daylight. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't drink. I sat at my kitchen table until 3 a.m, going through every email, every draft, every version of my presentation. And then I made a decision. I would never be powerless again. I bought a digital voice recorder the next morning, $79 at an electronics store, the best investment I ever made. I started recording every meeting, every conversation, every casual chat in the break room where Marcus liked to gather intel. I documented everything with timestamps and backup files stored in 3 different locations: cloud, external drive, and a safety deposit box. I became a ghost in my own life, collecting evidence, waiting. I learned patience the way you learn to hold your breath underwater. Weeks passed. Marcus presented my Vanguard pitch on January 15th and won the account. The announcement email praised his visionary leadership and strategic brilliance. He got a promotion to Executive Creative Director, a corner office on the 42nd floor, a bonus check for $127,000 that he mentioned loudly in the elevator. And I got a great work in a team meeting and a $2,500 raise that didn't even cover inflation. But I kept working. I kept recording. I kept building my case. 8 months. 247 audio files. 14 hours of conversation. And then, on September 3rd, the opportunity I'd been waiting for finally arrived. Vanguard was expanding the campaign into European markets, and they wanted to meet with the visionary behind the original concept to discuss the expansion personally. Marcus panicked. I watched his hands shake when he called me into his office that afternoon. His tie was loosened, his forehead glistening. "Claire," he said, voice tight, "I need you to attend this meeting with me. Just to handle the details if they ask technical questions. Stay in the background, let me do the talking." I smiled. A real smile this time. "Of course, Marcus. I'd be delighted." The meeting was set for Thursday, September 12th at 10 a.m. in Vanguard's headquarters on Park Avenue. I arrived at 8:30, wearing a $890 theory suit I'd bought specifically for this moment. The receptionist looked surprised when I asked to speak with the chief marketing officer before the official meeting. "It's about creative integrity," I said, "and a $50 million misunderstanding." Richard Chen, Vanguard's CMO, agreed to see me. I had 10 minutes. I used 5. I presented my evidence like a prosecutor closing a case. The original drafts with timestamps from August through December. The emails where Marcus asked me to share my concepts for review. The recordings of him admitting he'd never had an original idea in his life. When I played the audio of him calling his own creative work mediocre garbage, Richard's jaw tightened. Richard listened in complete silence, his expression unreadable. When I finished, he stared at the evidence for a long moment. Then he picked up his phone and pressed one button. "Move the Vanguard meeting to conference room B," he said, "and add the legal team and the chief procurement officer." He looked at me with new respect. "Ms. Anderson, would you care to present your European expansion ideas this morning? I understand they're quite innovative." I had never been more ready. I walked into conference room B 15 minutes later with a presentation I'd stayed up until 4 a.m. preparing, just in case. Marcus arrived 5 minutes after me, still confident, still oblivious, carrying his briefcase and his ego. Until he saw me at the head of the table, laptop open, Vanguard executives already seated. His face changed. I've never seen a man realize he's lost everything in a single moment. His face went white, actually white. He looked from me to Richard, the legal team seated in the corner with their notepads. His hand started to shake, nearly dropping his briefcase. "What's going on?" he asked, his voice cracking like a teenager's. Richard's response was ice cold. "We're about to find out, Marcus. Please, have a seat." The truth tends to come out in well-lit rooms. I presented the European expansion campaign that morning. 73 slides. Every idea was mine. Every insight came from my original research and 8 months of additional development. When Vanguard's executives asked questions about market penetration and cultural adaptation, I answered with the authority of someone who had lived this brand, breathed this brand, bled for this brand for 14 months. Marcus tried to interrupt twice. The first time, Richard raised a hand. The second time, the chief legal officer cleared his throat and said, "Mr. Bennett, please allow Ms. Anderson to finish." After my presentation, Richard stood up. "Marcus," he said, "we've discovered some concerning information about the origin of the original campaign. Before we proceed, would you care to explain how a visionary creative director has no documented creative process?" Marcus stammered. He lied. He contradicted himself 3 times in 90 seconds. And when Richard pressed play on the recording of Marcus admitting he'd stolen my work, the audio I'd captured in his office 8 months ago, the room went completely silent. You could hear the air conditioning. Marcus Bennett, the creative director who had built his 15-year career on other people's ideas, had nowhere left to hide. He put his head in his hands.
Meridian fired Marcus that afternoon. Not just removed from the account, terminated with cause. Security escorted him out with a cardboard box while the entire office watched from their desks. The legal team is still reviewing whether his conduct violated his employment contract enough to claw back his $127,000 bonus. His reputation in the advertising industry? Let's just say his LinkedIn profile went dark within a week, and his name became a cautionary tale at creative conferences. Vanguard signed the European expansion contract the following week. $73 million over 4 years. And they made one condition absolutely non-negotiable in the contract language. I, Claire Anderson, would be the lead creative on all future Vanguard work, with sole credit and creative authority. My ideas, my name on the awards, my career. Richard told me later that my documentation was the most thorough evidence of intellectual property theft he'd seen in 20 years of marketing. Marcus sent me an email last month. Just 3 words in the subject line. "You destroyed me." No body text. I thought about responding. I thought about explaining how he'd destroyed himself, how plagiarism isn't a mistake, it's a choice, how he'd built a house of cards and I just blew on it. But I deleted it without replying. Some victories don't need explanation. They just need to be lived. Meridian promoted me to creative director last quarter. I got the corner office on the 42nd floor, the one Marcus vacated. I kept his Eames chair, but I had the desk replaced. The first thing I did was gather my new team and make them one promise. Your ideas will always have your name on them. Full stop. No refining. No collaborative credit grabs. Because talent deserves recognition. And thieves? Thieves deserve exactly what they get. People ask me if I regret not speaking up sooner, if those 8 months of silence cost me something. And maybe they did. But I learned something valuable in that time. Revenge isn't about rage. It's about preparation. It's about being so ready that when your moment comes, you don't just win, you end the game. If you've ever had someone take credit for your work, your ideas, your late nights, document everything. Your future self will thank you. If this story satisfied you, subscribe to Quiet Receipts. We have hundreds more just like it, and trust me, they only get better from here.